The whole building is a huge superconductive antenna that was designed and built expressly for the purpose of pulling in and concentrating spiritual turbulence.
Merhaba. I mean welcome in Maltese and in Arabic. So today we're going to be looking at Paris in 1889, the World's Fair, a place where you'd go to get re-educated after a reset. Now we're going to be looking at the architecture of these buildings, and we're going to try and find out why they were built just for 6 months to be destroyed. Right, so the exposition started on the 6th of May from the 31st of October 1989. It attracted 32 million people. It was over 96 hectares and 35 countries were involved. So what happened, well, this is what they said. 35 countries would have gone to this place and they would have shown off their inventions that that country had made. And it was in Champ de Mars. People like Edison would go there because he'd go and look at the, he had the phonograph that was there. So we'd go there, it was a clearer, better quality sound. So it's just a place for inventions and that, really. Probably a lot of free energy stuff. This is the entrance. It's got all these spires and all, it's always lit up. And this is 1889, by the way. Okay, that looks like something out of a fairy tale. But this is the actual picture of it now. See the little gold things on top there, the things that you see lit up at night. I don't know what they are. They conduct electricity or don't know. But look, there you go. They're just like gold statues on top of the building, but they're lighting up. This is quite interesting. This part of the building has been taken away, but what's been left is this part here. Like, why would you get rid of the grandest part and leave like the worst part of it? It's just strange how you'd spend 2 years building it. Apparently they built all this in 2 years, by the way. Like, every inch of this is covered with ornamentation. Like, every inch is detailed. They've all got spires on the top and they've all got domes. I mean, just look at that. Like, this is what I mean by the old world. I reckon there's a reset. The last people that populated this place, this is what they built. Because if you look at the people in these pictures, they don't look like they're capable of anything like that. It's like, what's the need for it all? It must be free energy. Because they're always made out of conductive material. I mean, even like a see-through umbrella. It's like everything's just so grand and there was no budget when people were making this stuff. But I mean, look at the lights. Look at the ornamentation. This is like children. It's like sort of like cast iron, I imagine, like probably green or black or something like that. And they don't look brand new either, they look like they've been there a bit of time as well. And this looks quite weathered as well, it don't look like it's fresh. It's remarkable. Again, you've got these spires. Right, basically, what they're saying about this exposition is different countries went there, they built a building each to represent their country. But I don't believe that. I believe that's the story we're told. I believe these buildings will be here a lot longer than what before 1889. They say the last remaining building of all that is the Eiffel Tower, but there's still a couple of these like Greco-Romano buildings scattered around. They've just had the antiquity taken off them and just made to look a lot more basic. These buildings I'm showing you are definitely from the same era as these apartments I'm showing you. So these would have been, they would have gone together side by side. These apartments along with them buildings. But they wouldn't look out of place if they was next to it. And this is probably what it looked like inside one of these. Very grand furniture, but they're the same all over the world. This is London. So you've got a dome in the background. You've got these like buildings that are amazing. London again, but you wouldn't even know that was London. It's only because you see the underground and the red bus. Same again, London. You've got a spire in the background. These buildings that are incredible, and that is, I believe, London again. The next lot of buildings I'm going to show you are Parliament buildings from around the world in random places. This is a Chinese government building, which is the same. This is the Thailand Parliament building, which is the same. This is the one in India. This is the one in Cape Town. This is Cape Town again. So you've got 1889, you've got street lights, you've got all the spires on the top. This one was Zimbabwe. Russia. See, these buildings are all over the world. That's my point at the moment. And this was the grand entrance to the Paris. Okay, look at that. How do you even build that now? Yeah, so they must have all these spires and this like metal on the roof was to conduct energy, electromagnetic waves in the ether. But all the buildings had it. Feel free to pause. I'm just going to talk over these, and you can pause and have a look at these and zoom in. But that last picture you see looks very. This is India, by the way. Looks very similar. This is inside that dome in India, and they're all the same. Whether it's a mosque, a church, a synagogue, they're all the same. The last set of people on this planet have inherited all these buildings, and we use them as, like, the grandest buildings are used as post offices, like massive post offices, train stations, libraries, government buildings, and the rest has just been destroyed. I mean, look at that. Look at the ornamentation on that building on the right. Gold dome. Gold's a superconductor for electricity. And also I was looking at something to do with flags. Because apparently they used to have like very thin, like metal sort of fish wire in there. So when it flapped, it was generating an electrical charge and it went down the pole. That's quite interesting really, because in Malta you see a lot of flagpoles, what they're called, but I believe they're free energy poles. And they've always got a ball on the top. Maybe that had mercury in it, because mercury is also it's a conductor, highly conductive, and also it's a receiver as well, because they used to put mercury in the old TVs to pick up the signal. Same with radios as well. It seems to be made out of wood, and it sort of conveys you around to different parts of this place in Paris. I mean, it's like sort of like a train station. You've got a little hut there. See, this is what I mean by the buildings. Look at that hut compared to the building in the background. You know, you have all this high-tech building and all this grand design, yet you're building on wooden platforms, and you know, you're going around on horse and cart. It just don't make sense. I mean, look at that. What's the need for all these spires and the dome? Every one of these pictures are from 1889. I mean, that's just incredible, isn't it? Like, how would you even build that? Look at that skyline in Paris, 1889. Like, it's all gone now. And this. I've seen a picture of this lit up. Look at that. How old does that look? That looks older than like 100, 140, 30 years. It looks a lot older than that. You know? And pumps, that water's being pumped. That's another thing that people ain't realising, that water's being pumped. Just look at these buildings. I know some of these pictures have come up a couple of times. I've seen it once or twice, but I had over 200 pictures, and for me to go through all of them, it was hard work. Look, this is obviously like a Mexican building there, Mexicana, Havana. But it just don't make sense to build this, to have it open for 6 months, just to knock it all down. And just have fields there. Now this is like a shopping arcade there. Look at that. I believe that's all iron, cast iron. Look at the ornamentation, and how did they do all this in 2 years? That looks, I don't know, that almost looks like a mirror. Them stairs. Like, you must have been someone very important. Or it's not even that, it's like there's all built where there's no budget, it doesn't matter. It doesn't matter about money, just build it. I mean look, yeah, look, zoom in on this, this is a shop, a shopping part. 1889. Street lights inside. With little dome things on top, so it's probably free energy from the sun. Even though they're inside, a lot of these buildings, like the Crystal Palace, are glass. I mean, just look at that ornamentation. But this ain't glass at the top, this is a lot of glass on the side, this one here. Well, it might be on the top. But I mean, how much effort just to be there for 6 months and then to be knocked down. This is why I believe it's the old world. There's been some sort of cataclysm in the early 1800s. It's like wiped everyone out, or wiped out a good portion of people. And this is what we're looking at the height of what they got up to. I mean, if you go to a shop now, look at a shop now. It's so crap. You know, it's plasterboard, bit of paint, bit of plaster. Like you knock on the wall and it's plasterboard. So I found this picture quite interesting. I think this is actually 1903, but if you look, you can actually see these two columns like Greco-Romano, and it's very similar to like what all that was built in this World Fair, which is all over the world. Like I showed you, it's in. I even took the mic when I said to Zimbabwe. I put it in and it actually come up. So Cape Verde, they're all over Africa, Australia, India, China, but they're mainly in the cities, or like the really big. Well, sorry, they're mainly in the capitals or the big cities. That's where it is. Look at that. There's a hot air balloon inside. It looks like. Now this is actually on the exposition, sorry. That's them all doing the telegraph. I mean, what is for all these domes and spires? And look, you got people, you got a horse and cart there. This is what I don't get. You got a man on a horse and cart there, and a wheelbarrow, and you're telling me that these people built or had the brains, not just to build it, like to even think of it. Design it, plan it, source the material. Like, where are you gonna... This is 1889. And you've got people going around on horse and cart, yet they're going around all of this. It just don't make no sense to me whatsoever. That's why I believe there was a reset, and this is a new population, and they used the World Fairs to re-educate the next wave of people. Again, here is the conveyor belt. It took you to where you wanted to go. Some before and afters. Pause them and have a look. Eiffel Tower illuminated at the top and then shining lights down in 1889. It's got a little dome on the top, little spire. Look at it now. It's incredible, isn't it? Like, why would you get rid of that? Look at the skyline at the top to the skyline at the bottom, full of domes and spires. Look at that, that's incredible, isn't it? But look at it now. Unbelievable. So this was the fabrication of the Eiffel Tower, which I can understand. This is what I understand, because that's just an iron structure with nuts and bolts, no problem. But the other buildings are just a lot more sophisticated, a lot more ornate. Some plans. I mean, look, health and safety, right? And this is the destruction of it, like them bringing it down. Little train that went round the whole place because it was so big. And this is quite interesting, like these are trains from 1889, so this is what people around the world would have used to get to these places. I mean, look at that. This is a train from the old world. Look how grand it looks, the design. Look at all the patterns, the chandeliers. It's a shame it's in black and white. I'd like to see something like that in colour. But again, you've got lights everywhere. This is 1889, by the way. Looks like you've got some mad carpet on the floor. Chesterfield chairs. You know, it's like fit for a king. I mean, look at this. Look at the cutlery. Look at the. It's probably crystal. Look at the chairs. Like, how old is this? Well, I know this picture is 1889. It looks like at the top there's like some sort of skirting, like made out of metal. And so there's wooden chairs with metal ornamentation on it. Notice a metal at the top. So these are some adverts. I thought I'd throw these in at the end just to show you, because I found them quite interesting. It's quite an interesting subject. It's just baffling how they built all this just to knock it down. And it was just built for 6 months. Like, why do you have all these futuristic buildings that look like they're from the future? Bearing in mind this is 1889. You'd have all these buildings to have them up for 6 months just to knock them down. I just can't get my head around it. So I believe these buildings have been here a very long time. They've used them to educate people, the new wave of people in these buildings, you know, tell them the story they need to be told. And obviously it's a chance to show the technology that's been left, show them how to use it. And just let them get on with their merry ways. But anyway, I'll leave you with it. Please like, subscribe, share your thoughts, let me know what you think, because it's an interesting topic. One love. Stay safe, be blessed. Ciao, ciao.